News stripped down, where I dig through the news and weed out all the nonsense so you guys don't have to. Today is May 22nd, 2026. It's Friday. Yay. To anyone who it really matters to. Yeah, anyone who works a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Guess it's important. Anyways, most of your friends probably getting off of work, so you can probably hang out with them for the weekend. And today it's 18 degrees Celsius. That's with a 30% chance of rain. That's 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States with a 10% chance of rain. So let's start off with some birthdays. Today, May 22nd, composer Richard Wagner, known for his opera The Flying Dutchman, was born today in 1813. Passed at the age of 69 in 1883. And then today, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, born 1859, passed in 1930 at the age of 71. He was a physician, sportsman, and the creator of the iconic Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Yeah, the creator of Sherlock Holmes. Lots of controversy over that, though, too. And then today, Zerze was born 1907 to passed in 1983 at the age of 75. Famous cartoonist known for his cartoon The Adventures of Tintin, which is actually pretty crazy because that cartoon had been translated into 110 different languages. So it's not quite up there for the Guinness World Records, but pretty damn close for the most trans. And it's kind of crazy that a cartoon like that plays over into like, other cultures. It's pretty interesting. And then today, Harvey Milk was born today in 1930. He passed in 1978 at the age of 48. He was a politician, gay rights activist, and served 11 months in office before him and the mayor were gunned down by a dispute between steel workers. So yeah, he did not. He passed in 1978. And then today, in 1943, MLB's Tommy John is 83 years old today. Yeah, he's known for his breakthrough surgery that he had back in the day, and which is also known still to this day as Tommy John surgery. So yeah, but look at the surgeries and stuff they're doing now. Like I'm surprised like some of these baseball players aren't doing like body modifications on their muscles. Like pretty interesting, but I'm pretty sure we're getting into that stuff. You don't need to do steroids anymore. You could just go have surgeries done to like, beef up your muscles, beef up your tendons. But long-term results is the issue. And then today, supermodel and actress Naomi Campbell is 56 today. She was born in 1970. Katie Price, another model, she's 48 years old today, born in 1978. And then today, Disney star Peyton Elizabeth Lee is 22 years old, born in 2004. I really wonder how some of these Disney stars, like, you just know they're not going to do well in the future. Like, the shelf life on a Disney star, not very good. And potential outcome of Disney stars, not a good outcome. So yeah, I'll do the weather again. It's 18 degrees Celsius with a 30% chance of rain. That's 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States with a 10% chance of rain. So yeah, it's May 22nd, 2026, Friday. Yeah, end of the week, you guys. Let's dig into the news. The iconic Westminster Hotel in Dawson City, Yukon is pretty much succumbed to its fire. It's no longer existent. The historic sites, a historic hotel that had been there since 1898, uh, played a major role in the Yukon Gold Rush time and era, and was quite the landmark. There is a GoFundMe to help rebuild the hotel, but I would like to see them kind of build it back to like historical state that it is. Like almost like if you guys don't know of the Ghost Town Living fella who bought a ghost town, which is also a silver mine. he had a fire that took out his hotel, and he's building it to, the closest thing he can due to regulations and stuff like that, to build it as like period correct as possible. And I kind of like to see the same thing done with the Westminster Hotel in Dawson City. If they're gonna rebuild it, try and put it back to period times, which would be, it definitely help with the tourism more due to the fact that that was a major landmark as well. And over to Japan. Japan has just restarted operations of one of their, actually their, as at one of their biggest nuclear power plants, the Kurwiwa in Niigata prefecture, is about 200 kilometers away from the Fukushima plant that exploded in 2011. This is because of the tsunami that hit and they had power outages. They're still dealing with the cleanup and stuff there, but this is nowhere near that site right now. But this Kasawaki plant in Japan here has been shut down since 2011. So it's been sitting here idle for about 15 years. So what they're doing right now, kind of saying because energy crisis, things like this, a lot of this power just from this one reactor. They have 7 reactors at this plant. They're only initially going to start up one of these reactors, and it's roughly going to power around a half a million homes across Japan, mostly in Tokyo and uh, the Kanto regions. But there's another big but about this as well. Where this nuclear power plant is, it has, this area in this prefecture is very well known for their production of oil and refinement of oil. So could this nuclear power plant just be a stepping stone? Here, let's power half a million homes and see if this is going to be feasible, because this plant has been around since 1985, which is already past its shelf life right now, and then having it sitting idle for 15 years, does that make it any newer? Does that, like, you're still going to have deterioration in this nuclear power plant by all means. So I with the way the energy crisis and the way that oil and gas is happening right now, I could see Japan right now starting to crank up the rest of these nuclear reactors. But is it feasible for them right now? Everyone's kind of grasping at straws, but I don't think it's just about these 500,000 homes. It just, I find it convenient that this is one of their main oil hubs of Japan. And here, let's start up this power plant so we can go feed Tokyo and this other place, which is hundreds of miles away. So, like, something a little interesting going on with that. So I'll pay attention to that, see what happens. But I've noticed a lot of companies right now are starting to refire up previous projects or previous machinery. Well, like nuclear power plants that have been sitting idle, or like firing kilns for producing steel and aluminum. Previous plants that had been shut down or kind of held back because of all the green tape and green policies. And now you see a lot of companies, they're like, well, some of these green policies, are kind of starting to get pushed aside. So maybe we should start firing up like some of these other facilities and some of these other these machineries and generating stations. Like, I'm surprised we're not firing up coal plants again here in Canada, because to tell you the truth, those are some of the most efficient and cleanest in the world that we're running here in Canada, especially in Manitoba. So, is it really about the power for the people, or do they have alternative motives behind this? Because what I'm seeing, there's definitely, it's just a little too convenient that they're going to fire up this plant, and then this plant's over 40 years old now. So, what kind of repercussions are we going to see from that? Yes, it's only one reactor, but it's only one of 7. So quite a lot of power that could still be utilized there. And then over to Canada news. So yes, Danielle Smith, the Premier of Alberta, there's finally spoke up about her side on where she's going to stand where it comes to this this whole process when it comes to the separatists and what she's going to do. So she's totally for Canada staying together as united as possible, but she does still want to see like the legality part of this done. Like there is possible ways to do this in a legal, due and just process, and I totally understand. Yes, we can't just stonewall somebody uh, like through the courts like this. And really, what she's coming down to pretty much saying is like, let's just put this on the ballot right now. You can go online to albertareferendum.ca and vote on there to see if you can get this still put on the ballot, whether Alberta should be a part of Canada or not. But her pretty much, my understanding is right now with her views the way they are right now, the way Pierre Polyev is pulling his, well, he just lost 300,000 votes against him for sure. So obviously there's something they just want to get this vote over with and show that, we have the votes to keep Canada or Alberta as a part of Canada. And the separation thing is just a small group of people that really can't affect the vote. So that's pretty much what it's coming down to. Because Pierre Polyev wouldn't be shouting out pro Canada when he clearly knows he's going to lose 300,000 votes. And I understand where Danielle Smith is coming from. Yes, that this should still be brought up. Like, let's just rip this band-aid off right now, get the vote over with, and then we'll deal with what happens after. And I'm actually kind of scared to see what's gonna happen after, especially when it comes to like people's personal information being leaked in Alberta, like voters' information. Like, okay, all those people that signed those petitions to separate from Canada, uh, there's going to be some form of retribution for that. I almost guarantee it. Happened when Quebec wanted to separate too. And so, yeah, I just, to say that they're going to get away scot free for this, no, there will be some form of repercussions. Whether you get audited, you just filed your taxes wrong that year. Whether you file your taxes right, doesn't matter. They can just randomly audit you now. So something, your name's out there, and it could be out there for the public to see because apparently they can get away with that in Alberta, just leaking voter information. And then speaking of Pierre Polyev, yeah, he's been giving Carney quite a bit of flack lately here about, and just Canada in general. A lot of Canadians are a little confused right now about how Carney is putting money into Canadian defense. With the way our world is happening right now, like Bloomberg, a lot of companies right now are talking about Canada is like one of the next investments in the world. Okay, so we're gaining to be a superpower in this global world without, the helping hand of the United States. We've always been like a power country, but we've always been kind of sidelined. And if we're going to be like a power country, we're going to have the military to be able to back that up as well. We're going to be making deals with other countries, that other countries are going to see, want to fight us for it or create some conflict over this. So we have to make a balance here. Like we should have been bumping up our military throughout the years, but all those kept getting sidelined and sidelined. So like, can we play catch up? And then what are the repercussions of playing this catch up game now? Like, yes, we're getting a lot of foreign investors coming into Canada. Yes, we're trying to like build up the military really quickly. And normally, what happens when you start rushing things? Bad things start to happen. And like, this could be the final straw that breaks the camel's back, or we're going to start to see fractures in the system that's happening right now by allowing all this stuff. So we should be like kind of sitting back a little bit, asking questions like, hey, are we putting this money into proper use? And are we getting the best value from that as well? Like, this is what it's coming down to, is the value. And then we can't supersede, we can't let foreign investment, like supersede how our military is, because that has to be kept in a balance as well. Like I said, With good things come bad things, and when you seem to rush things, bad stuff happens. And you know what? Like, you gotta crack an egg, to make an omelet, and just it's eventually gonna show the cracks that doing investments and changing something so quickly, so dramatically, too fast has never worked out in any government society. So yeah, we should be sitting back a little bit. And I know there's a lot of talk of foreign investors like Canadian natural gas. They're trying to push these agendas forward so we can start getting product out to other foreign nations. But yes, we do need a military to be able to sign the checks that our ass can't cash. Oh, and then over to the U.S. A little bit of Canada, a little bit of U.S. is going to affect us all. So there's a proposed rail merger in the U.S. here worth about $85 billion. So the Union Pacific Western Rails and the Norfolk Southern Rails to the east. This is going to create the first intercontinental railway. Normally, it's always like bits and pieces. There's a lot of logistics that have to go behind this, and part of their merger for this is here. This will simplify logistics and start like simplifying bottlenecks that we're having when it comes to shipping routes coming to one spot. There's delays in between shipping routes. So their thought is, hey, we do this right now, we can kind of get rid of some of these bottlenecks that were happening. But then that's going to give Canadian Pacific and Norfolk, depending on which name they're going to stick with, unless they just hyphenate their names together, that's going to give them 40% of the US rail system. So, like, that is a little bit of a monopoly. And then with, what's his name? Keith Creel here, the CEO of Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Rail, like he's been bringing up concerns about big mergers like this already. And this is kind of funny coming from a guy who has like 30% of the Canadian market and then another 23% of the Mexican market, and then with only a 6% of territory in the United States. So really, way he's speaking up right now, he's scared that this is going to affect Canada and the way that trade is going to happen if this merger happens. Because with Canada only having that 6%, you know, the United States could start undercutting, the CEO Keith Creel's like cut of the pie. They just undercut him and then push him out of the market and then end up controlling the rest of the market. And with only having a 6% territory in the United States, that wouldn't take very much to, completely get them out of the United States. And with the way the global markets and the way the Canada US relationship is they're having right now, this is not good for anybody. Like, whether they make this deal or not. And it's definitely not going to be good for Keith Keel, the CEO, for sure. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the news today, you guys. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS anyways. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, let's end off some things that happened today in history. There wasn't a heck of a lot of stuff that happened today in history. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. Like I said, I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 30 minutes or less, because anything longer is just BS. So today, May 22nd, 1992, Johnny Carson had his final appearance as the host of The Tonight Show after 29 and a half years having that show, giving over the reins to Jay Leno. Yeah, as his new guest host or new host. And then today, May 22nd, 1990, American inventor Edwin Volt. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. 1900. Today in 1900, American inventor Edwin Voltaire patents his piano that plays by itself, called the pianola. And today in 1570, the first atlas is published with over 70 maps, called the Theater of the World. And then today in 1843, the first wagon train of 700 to 1,000 migrants departs from Independence, Missouri to the city of Oregon City. That's over 2,000 miles of traveling by horse and buggy. Of all people just trying to find a better life, eh? That's pretty crazy. Imagine doing that by horse and buggy, you know? You pull over to take a deuce and then you got to run and catch up to the wagon. I almost guarantee they're not going to let you poop in the wagon. They won't even let you poop on a bus. And then today in 2014, the Royal Thai Armed Forces stage a coup against Thailand's government to take control, being the fourth coup since its first coup in 1932. Uh, Not almost having as good a luck as people in Britain and their prime ministers, eh? There's no shelf life on a prime minister, you know. But whose fault is that, really, though? I don't know. Like, there's so many prime ministers in Britain I could list right now. So, really, is, I don't know, 12 coups since 1932 really a bad thing? Well, it doesn't look so bad now. But, anyways, I'm out for the weekend, you guys. I'll be back for Monday's show. For news stripped down 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's just BS. And yeah, I'll be back for Monday's show. Might do a live this weekend. We'll see what happens. See what I feel like, and I'll see you guys all on Monday. You guys have a great weekend. Uh, Try and enjoy the weather. It doesn't know what it wants to do here, and hopefully it starts to warm up next week here and get some stuff in the ground for the farmers and people get their gardens and flowers in. But anyways, I'm out of here. Hey, Craig, I'm just shutting the show down. But yeah, I'll see you guys Monday, and if not, maybe do something tomorrow. But we'll see. But you guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Peace out.